Once the Confederates lost, they were really upset. And they said, you know what? We are our own country. We don't have to let go of our slaves. We'll just keep them. I know what y'all are thinking. Oh, we were told that the blacks and the Indians were walking hand in hand. No, they weren't. They were walking neck chain and neck chain with the Indians down to Oklahoma and Missouri area. Now, I know that some of the Indian tribes, like the Cherokees and the Seminoles, weren't as bad. They maybe they had a form of slavery that they were used to within their tribe, and maybe that's why they thought that they didn't have to free their slaves, because they weren't lynching them all over the place. However, the Indians that enslaved my people, in particular the Chickasaw tribe, they were ruthless and disgusting, and probably made a few Mississippians cringe a little bit. Ooh, you do that to your slaves? That's crazy. This is the truth. The reason why people know this is because when the research was done, they saw that the Chickasaw tribe had a lot of runaways. If you're running, it's because you think that you will do better with white people. I'm just saying. So, once they got out to the Midwest territory, it was agreed upon that they were going to let the slaves go. The 5 civilized tribes all signed a treaty saying that they were going to get rid of their slaves, kick them off of their land, and provide them with $300,000, not per person, as a whole, because they continued to enslave them. This is a book, Sweet Home Acres, written by my distant cousin. There's actually a picture of my great-grandmother in this book. And you can see here that it says down at the bottom that she is the daughter of Chickasaw freedman Mattie Gaines. That means when the white people came to the reservation tribe, my great-grandmother is actually still alive. Yes, to this day. She is, like, not going anywhere. Still living in Oklahoma. Her grandfather was an Indian slave. She took care of my mother. So all my life, my grandmother has been that woman. That woman who was born on a reservation. That woman whose mother was a slave. That's how recent this is. This is not some, oh my God, so long ago. Let me give you some more contrast. That cousin that wrote this book, he actually traced his lineage all the way back up to Africa. Dude got off the boat. He went to a white family who was a good white family. This white man took care of him. He looked out for the woman that was his wife coming off the boat and allowed him to have visitations to go see this woman. He was actually allowed to raise his own child, yes, slaves off the boat that were not completely separated, and this white man supported him because this slave kissed his butt and worked really hard. And I was surprised because I was under the impression that no white people did stuff like this. But apparently, all the white people that were slavers weren't horrible people. Once his slave dies, he buys the son because he wants to replace him, and he was such a good slave, and he says, well, his son must be just as good. He buys his son kisses his butt, works really hard, and he continues to be a good slave. The slave owner loved him so much, he said this was so awesome, he gave him the money for his freedom when he died. When he died, that man lived on the farm, People around town were talking, there's a farm over there. We think so-and-so's dead. You know, what's going on with the slaves? What's going on with the land? Some big shot white guy came down and was like, I heard y'all was living out here on your own. What's good? And they was like, oh, master, sir. My master gave me my freedom, sir. I swear, sir. I just want to, get out of here and go west, because nobody was really living out there at that time. So the white man wasn't crazy. He didn't, stab him in the back. He was just like, boom, here's the money. He probably didn't give him enough money, but blacks at that time was just glad to escape with their lives. He was like, boom, here's the money. Boom. He headed out west, ran into some soldiers. Soldiers was like, man, if you get caught around here, we don't care that you're free, but if you get caught around here, somebody's going to do something. They're going to lynch you. Also because his wife that he married from one of the other slave plantations was mulatto, so she looked very white. Keep going west. There's some Indians. They're headed that way. Keep with them. When they got to the Indians were like, who are you? What's going on? The wife looked so white, she told all the Indians, this is my slave, and he takes care of me. My husband died. They all bought it. Boom. She was chilling with them. And eventually, when the white people came to take names of everybody, she was listed under the Cherokee tribe. So when the man moved out to Oklahoma, he worked. He was a sharecropper. He made money. He tried to buy a house. He wasn't completely successful, but he did have, I guess, a savings. And when he died, he passed it on to his children. His children, which were frugal, ended up buying some land. And they're not exactly wealthy, but they did have something to pass on to their children. What I'm trying to share with you is the stark difference when somebody has not been robbed. So now you have this child of a slave who has his freedom, who's making it work for him and his wife. In comparison, you have my great-grandmother's family who were all slaves. Who, if you test me today, you might find a lot of Indian blood in me because they were raping and beating and murdering them.